What's up, Peoria, man? It's Mark Supreme. This is RapPolitics. Appreciate y'all falling in for the 8th episode. And you know how we get down, man. Strictly hip hop. RapPolitics is brought to you by Sherman's, where they carry the best in furniture, mattresses, and appliances. And they're also hiring. Sherman's is one of the few places left in town that doesn't care about your education. They just care about promoting people that work hard, have a good attitude, and follow their core values. One of the few places that hard work gets recognized and gets you ahead. You can log on to shermanscareers.com to check out the openings and apply online. And we're also brought to you by Terry Shepard, a real estate consultant whose values are rooted in customer care and service. She can help you negotiate your next deal and help you get into a home that fits. She's with RE/MAX Traders Unlimited, and she can be reached at 309-361-4592. Now, we do have a dope show for y'all today. We have the Superintendent of Peoria Public Schools on deck. So stay tuned for that. And also, I want to underscore the fact that if you guys have any questions, or if you're a parent and you got any questions about Peoria Public Schools, enrolling, getting your kids started in the kindergarten, what the mask mandate is going to look like, anything of that nature, make sure y'all get your questions in the comments right now, because we're going to make sure that we ask those questions to Superintendent Dr. Sharon Kherat. But first, we got to talk about the obvious, y'all. We got a family meeting, Peoria. We got to have a family meeting. So if you was on Facebook yesterday, you might have saw a video, a copy of a Ring video, where someone got their keys stolen from them, had a gun put in their face, got their keys stolen from them, and they ran off. So when I was coming up, we used to say stuff like, ask stupid questions, you're going to get stupid answers. You know what I'm talking about? But one of my guys, actually Kyle Bright, shout out to him, he coined something I still use today. And he said, you play silly games and you win silly prizes. So with the Ring situation, two young boys ran up in somebody's house, put a gun in their face, took the keys. Another situation, somebody, I guess a group of kids stole a car, was running down Knoxville and around Knoxville War Memorial area, got in a car accident. Then you had another situation where somebody got their car stolen and ended up making a music video out of it. And that was on YouTube, and it got, I guess it went semi-viral. And those are only a few instances that I can recall at the moment where somebody had gotten their car taken. Now, carjacking has been a thing. It's always been a thing, but as of recently, it's been a thing going on in Peoria. And in every scenario that I can recall of that situation happening, nobody has gotten fatally injured. But the thing is, that's not always going to be the case. So I would just want to encourage, OGs, parents, if you got kids that's that type of age, teenage age, OGs in the street, man, find out what the young homies up to. Find out, if you got kids, man, find out what they up to. Find out who they hanging with, who they kicking it with, where they going, and where they going. We was coming back in the day, you couldn't even go to nobody's crib until your mama knew who their mama was. You know what I'm talking about? And so it's just one of those situations where, for kids might be looking for a good time, or just, we all got into mischief and stuff like that. But, all it takes is the wrong car. All it takes is running up inside the wrong house, and somebody that ain't going for none of that. Somebody that, is ready for situations like this. And I would hate for something like that to happen. And we all would hate for something like that to happen. So again, I encourage anybody that got kids or that's around young kids, that's around teenagers, find out what they up to, find out what's going on, because that's not always going to be the case. And a lot of these people are incriminating themselves. I mean, you on a Ring video, you're like, these things is happening on video now. This is not like, people got videos on their house, you know what I mean? And, a lot of kids ain't thinking about the holistic perspective of repercussions that could come. And at the end of the day, it could end up very badly compared to what we've experienced in the last couple of weeks. So I just want to throw that out there. But now we got Superintendent of Peoria Public Schools, the queen bee of education, and one of the few people that said, I didn't need a haircut. You know what I mean? So shout out to her. Superintendent of Peoria Public Schools, Dr. Sharon Kherat. Was good.
I'm so happy to be with you. Mark Supreme, you look great. We
talk
about render your soul, not your garment, right?
You know what I'm saying? I'm still straight out here. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing well. Thank you.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase. Back to school in the pandemic. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really, really good. Oh, and I have to say, I had to be home before the sun went down. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy, but I'm optimistic though. I think our community, we're getting together. We're there. I'm meeting, actually. The mayor has lots of groups having conversations, and they're going to put some strategy together to help our youth and kind of get them back on the right track. But it's going to take the entire community. So as it relates to PPS, I'm feeling very, very good. A whole bunch of people are working really, really hard, including our Board of Education, to make sure that we have a successful year. I'm sure you heard I talked about in 2015 when I started, we had like 79 openings, teacher openings, and now we're down to 3. So the majority of our buildings are fully staffed, which is an important thing for me. So we're excited. We're ready to go. School starts on Monday for teachers. We have Institute Monday and Tuesday. Our kids come back on the 18th, Wednesday. So I'm very, very, very happy about that.
So for the parents watching and getting ready to get their kids ready for school, what are the rules this time around? What can parents expect as they send their kids to school later on this month?
Yep. So the good thing is we had a lot of practice last year during COVID. And so remember when they came back in October, November, December, and then second semester, we were wearing masks. We had the universal mask. We wear a universal mask in district. So we're going to do that again. Because it's one of the most effective COVID-19 mitigation strategies, which is proper wearing of the proper masking. So we're going to do that. We have a stockpile of masks as well. So if kids forget, they shouldn't be penalized. They will not be penalized. If they forgot to bring a mask, we'll provide one. Physical distancing for us in our buildings will be 3 feet. Field trips will be allowed as long as proper safety and precautions are followed. I've gotten a couple of emails from some families. They're concerned about the Delta variant and want another option. We do have that for them. I think we have about a little less than 200 kids signed up for the virtual option, which was a big surprise to me because during COVID, it was my biggest school. We had 1,600 kids who signed up and were taking the virtual instruction route. So it tells me that parents really do want the kids in school, and so that they can get that interaction and that face to face, which is very, very important. And so yeah, for us, it's so that we can make sure that it happens in a safe manner. And so we're going to have rapid antigen tests, which will be done by our nurses. We have about 25, 26 amazing nurses. And so if they're not feeling well, students or staff, they can get this antigen test. If it's not COVID, then they can stay. They'll get results in 15 minutes. So I'm happy about that. We did that last year. And so we have that. And then we also have a partnership with Redditus Lab in Pekin. It's the surveillance testing. They can do that Monday through Friday. Go to Pekin. Or we have a peace of mind testing that we've always done, that we've done last year during COVID for individuals who just want peace of mind if they were in a large crowd for some reason, or, they have some concern about, they just want to find out if they're good. We usually have once a week at the district administration office for our staff and students what we call peace of mind testing. We also have, and I wanted our families to know, this year remember last year we did the surveillance testing on the high school kids. This year we're shifting to the primary and middle school, primarily K4, because they don't have access to the vaccine. And so our primary kids will be tested once or twice per semester. But I've gotten some feedback for some individuals who were a little leery about it, and they were not really excited about the idea. And I just want our families to know that too is optional. we'll definitely need their permission for that. And so don't really worry too much. Just communicate with your child's school. Athletics, I've gotten a lot of questions about athletics. Masking is required if it's indoors, right? If it's outdoors, like football, golf, baseball, softball, there's no need for masks. Of course, swimming is indoors, and you can't swim if you're masked, right? We don't want anybody getting hurt. And so that was athletic consideration, and we're following IHSA guidelines as it relates to that. So yeah, I'll take a pause and see if you have any specific questions for me, because I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, of course. No, it's all good. And again, if you're watching, if you got kids or you're just concerned, definitely drop your questions in the comments and we'll get to them. I see a concern right here by Renee, and she says, my kids are not going to public school specifically because they will not be ordered to wear masks. For the people watching that might have caught on late, students are required to wear masks at school, correct?
Correct. And it's in order to have that in-person experience, we have to protect each other. I know there's small segments that are not in favor of masks. You hear a lot of stuff about masks, but and that's fine. That's why we also provided our families choice. And as we can see, the majority, the super majority, we have 13,000 kids, and less than 200 of our families decided to to take the virtual option. So I feel really good that if that's okay, then you can do the virtual option and just go online, and there's an application process, and fill it out, and someone will reach out to you. So unlike some other districts, we do have options, but the majority, the super majority of our families do want the kids in person, and I believe the mask is effective. I had to go to the hospital today for something, and everybody was wearing a mask. I mean, so it's
So with the virtual options, so we do have virtual options this time around, and we're talking about all grade levels.
Thank you, great question. It is for 2 through 8. And then high school, it's a different, they have Edgenuity. And the reason we talked about it, and actually I talked about it at the board meeting Monday night, that came up. K1 during COVID last year, they were not successful at all with virtual. But if there are some unique situations where there's supports at home and parents can, so, one size doesn't fit all, but overall, we're recommending 2 through 8, and asking that the kindergartners, the first graders come in, because, teaching them to read, and it's highly specialized, and it's very difficult to do it, over the computer. But we're open to listening to unique situations for sure.
And you said something was different about high school students. What do they have the option for?
Yeah, high school, they have a lot of options, and they can sign up via Edgenuity, but they can go through the high school principals for that one.
And so they can be in school or from home as well.
Yes, okay. Yes, for sure. Their syllabus is really K through 8, although we're recommending 2 through 8, and Edgenuity for high school. And what I observed last year was the majority of the kids were primary kids. The high school, we may have, out of the 1,600 that I mentioned, we may have had probably 200, less than 250, but the majority were the K8 kids and their families selecting the online. So it's not really popular at the high school level, but it is an option at the high school level. It's just a different application process.
Has there been any dialogue or discussion with students that may refuse to wear masks during class, or ones that may come to school without on? I know you mentioned that masks will be on site, but what about the students that just don't want to wear it and just refuse to put one on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually on this statewide committee with other superintendents. It's called the Transition SWAT Team, and we have been meeting. We met March 13th, right when the governor shut the schools down. The next day, I went to Springfield. I was invited to go to Springfield, and we've been meeting. There was a committee. There's a subcommittee just around that issue. And we met the day before yesterday, four superintendents, one from Champaign, one from Chicago, myself, and the guy from Jason from IHSA, and we talked about it. And there was for us, and I mentioned it for Peoria Public Schools. It really we've not had any issues with that, honestly. If kids forget their mask, we give it to them. But if, I know some districts, some parents, they said that parents are telling the kids don't wear the mask and so forth. And, the kids will not be allowed to stay because there's some kids that could be compromised, and it's not fair for them to be sitting next to someone who is sort of not protected, right? And can spread. So step one is something like we had conversations about. Step one, obviously, you have a conversation. You could with the kid. Step two, you can call the parent and have a conversation. And if you're not making any progress, then something about being sent home and not being allowed to stay in the school. But we did not have a problem with that at all last year, and I really don't anticipate. Um, you know, that being a problem for us. What I recommend my contribution was if they show up and they don't have a mask, then make sure you have masks available for them, so that at least they're given that option. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask: is there any additional support that you'd like to see from the city or the state when it comes to getting the school year started in the midst of this pandemic?
I have been satisfied. We're working well with all parties. We're working well with our city, with our county. Jason from the county, he just asked, if we needed, what did we need? I asked him for 10,000 masks. So they're supportive there. Our ROE has been very, very supportive. The state has been very, very supportive. Even before the governor declared the mandate regarding universal masking. As you know, we were way ahead of him, because the board really, and I supported my board 100%. We were all aligned on the decision that it's the safest thing. I mean, we know who we are. We are an eclectic urban district. A majority of us and our families and our staff are high risk, so we still want to get the job done. And it's all about providing in-person education for our kids. Guess what? I'm so disappointed. My sister is a teacher in St. Croix, the Virgin Islands, and the second year in a row, the kids are going to be experiencing only virtual teaching, only virtual learning, and those kids need to be in person. Well, the Delta variant is high. They're not wearing their mask. They're not listening. They have parties and whatever. And I was just really disappointed. So this is what it's about. If you want your children to experience in person, being in the buildings, the proper wearing of mask is one of the most powerful mitigations that we can. Right now, it's the only medicine that that we can utilize. So yeah, I think we're good. Well, families, I think overall have been very, very, very supportive, and they're ready for us to get started. And we have been working very hard for them, for the kids, for the staff. We're in a really good place, and we have a lot of support from the community.
So I want to get to an audience question real quick, but there's a bonus for parents that sign their kids up for kindergarten. Speak on that real quick.
Oh, so it's not a financial bonus. I thought you were going to talk about bus drivers, but the kids, if they sign up, they can come to school a day earlier. They can come to school on August 17th from I believe 11 to 1. 11 to 1, the kids will get to unpack their book bag. They'll get to meet their teachers. They'll get to maybe do an activity. They'll get to ride the bus. I remember when my son was very, very young and he went to Valeska, that's all he wanted to do was to ride the school bus. And I, being a primary principal, my kids, my little kindergartners, they enjoyed riding the bus. So they'll get to ride the bus and they'll get a snack. So it's called kickstart to kindergarten, and so it's also very good because some schools, like the first day of school, I visit every building. So Wednesday, I will drink my Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dews, and I'll start very early and hit all of the 27 buildings. And I just don't like. I get a little frustrated when I see long lines of families registering kids when they could have done it, all now. So all last week. It's still not too late. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, register the kids before Wednesday, so that you won't have to wait in a long line, and the transition will be smooth and not hectic and not stressful for the kid. They'll know their classroom, they'll know their teacher, and so that's my ask for the parents. And you have been, Mark, you've been doing.
I'm still asking about the gas card. We still doing the gas card?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what I was talking about.
Right. I forgot about that. You're right. Right. I need to find out how that's working. So, and guess what? You know who made that happen? Pastor Hubbard Devereaux. So the first 400, he gave me the idea. I turned it over to them, and then I moved on to something else. So hopefully they're advertising it, to their own communities. But you're right. Thank you. And what you're doing for us, Mark Supreme, it's working. Because the last time when I talked to you, we had 400. Now we have about 600 kindergarten signed up. So I'm still looking for about 300 more. So the message is getting out there and parents are responding. So yeah, they'll get a $5 gas card if they register the kids before Wednesday. Thank you, sir.
Nice. That's strictly hip hop 90.7 FM. Okay. So CC wants to know, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, but how will after school programs, activities, and clubs be affected by COVID this year? Will they be able to happen, or will they still be on pause?
Yeah, CC. I know CC. CC was I know CC's mom and CC's dad, great family. Her sister actually is an amazing teacher at Whittier. And she was one of my TSTM kids. So we go way, way back. CC, we're going to have those after school programs as well. All of them will be back in effect with those mitigation strategies where they're going to have the social distancing and so forth. Thanks for asking.
That's what it is. Okay. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. So look, I'm gonna give you a minute 45, just like we did the chief. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You've been through this already. I think you've been through this already. Either or, left, right, up, down, east, west, whatever. Quick, rapid answer. And I'm about to put on a minute 45 on the clock. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, boom. What's your biggest strength?
Collaboration.
How many shoes you got?
Too many to count, but I only wear like 3.
That's how it be. If you could see anybody in concert, who would it be?
Oh, I love Sade, actually.
Okay.
Oh, Beyonce.
You can't go wrong. Beamer or Lexus? I'll be watching you.
Lexus.
What's your favorite movie?
Don't laugh. The Wizard of Oz.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Gucci or Louis Vuitton?
Gucci.
Okay, I see how you come.
The perfume. I like the perfume.
Okay. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
When you go to Manual Central game, who you be rooting for?
Oh my God, that's hard. I'll take a pass on that one.
Okay, Central, that's cool. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apples or oranges?
Oranges.
If you didn't work in education, what would you be doing?
I wanted to be a nurse, but I just couldn't do the blood thing. That's a very good one. Maybe hospitality.
Okay. Math or science?
Science.
Favorite color?
Orange.
Favorite restaurant in Peoria?
I like the Fish House. It's local and it's in Peoria.
Hey, look, I got to get this one out though, because this is going on for a minute. And you're educator, 800 credit score, or $100,000 cash?
Well, I already have 800 credit score, so I'll take the cash.
Okay. And then, of course, I got to ask everybody, grits take salt or sugar? Because that's the CC question.
Yeah, I'm not used to salt, so sugar.
Me neither. Yeah, CC crazy. So, and you mentioned when we got on, you said you had to be at home before the lights were off. And I mentioned earlier, just people getting, understanding where their kids are and things like that, getting in their business. My mama's still in my business. What can the district do? And I know the district can and can't, but like, what would you suggest just trying to help mitigate some of the recklessness that's going on amongst our youth?
Yeah, I would say we're doing a lot and we need help. I mean, we're employing more than 200 kids. We're getting them certifications. We have a lot of alternative options for them. We have woodruff, if you're doing barbering, cosmetology, culinary, construction, auto body, whatever path you want to go through. We have paid positions for them. So I think we need a lot of other organizations and governmental entities doing the same thing. Whether it's Moonlight Basketball, whether it's mentorship programs, stuff with JDC. There's a lot of, it's going to take the entire village. But I'm proud of the work that we're doing. We're doing a lot for our youth, but we need many more hands to help across the board. A lot of our kids, some of our kids, are, growing up in single family homes, so they need mentors, male role models. We could use some, programs with fathers being role models for these young men, taking them out, taking them to games. And that's what we're working on all together as a city. And I know May is working on that as well. So we'll continue to do the best that we can. But the problem is so huge and so entrenched that it's going to take a lot of hands and heads and a total system with lots of spokes to provide supports for our kids, and they need it. We need to invest in them for sure.
Can't say it any better. Dr. Sharon Kherat, Superintendent of Peoria Public Schools. Thank you so much for coming on RapPolitics.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate y'all tuning in too. And you already know we brought to you by Sherman's, where they carry the best in furniture, mattresses, and appliances. They're also hiring, and they promote people that work hard, have a good attitude, and follow their core values. One of the few places where hard work gets recognized and gets you ahead. You can log on to shermanscareers.com to check out the openings online. We're also brought to you by Terry Shepard, a real estate consultant whose values are rooted in customer care and service. She can help you negotiate your next deal and get you in a home that fits. She's with RE/MAX Traders Unlimited, and she can be reached at 309-361-4592. And I forgot to mention, everybody out there, especially ladies, man, the obvious, man, don't be sitting in the car too long. You know what I'm saying? Get inside the house, close the door, get you some mace. You know what I'm saying? And find out where your kids are, man, because it's like that. It's like that. Y'all be cool, man. We'll be back Monday.